Did you know that, according to the American Heart Association, 1 in 4 people over the age of 60 are living with a high risk of heart failure or stroke without even knowing the cause? It is not because they eat too much sugar or fat. It is because certain vegetables that seem healthy are silently damaging the heart, especially when eaten the wrong way. This is not a scare tactic. It is a sincere warning from someone who has spent more than 30 years working with elderly patients. I understand how you feel. You have tried to eat healthy, given up fast food, taken your medicine on time, and yet your heart health still does not improve. But sometimes, the problem is not the medicine. It is the plate of vegetables that seems harmless on your dining table every day. This video will help you understand your body better. Do not skip it, especially if you want to live long and stay healthy. Where are you watching this video from and how old are you? Please leave a comment below. And if you are experiencing the same issue, share your story, because every story shared might be the lifeline someone else is waiting for. Vegetable number 1, spinach. For decades, spinach has been seen as the symbol of healthy food. With its deep green color, mild taste, and high vitamin content, it often appears in the meals of those who care about their health, especially older adults. But did you know that for people over 60 who are taking blood thinners, a glass of spinach smoothie every morning could quietly break down the shield that protects your heart? I still remember the case of Mr. George, 72 years old, living in the state of Ohio. A careful man, retired after many years as a high school principal. He did not smoke, did not drink alcohol, and took a walk every morning. Yet he came in for a checkup, feeling tired, with fluctuating blood pressure and occasional dizziness when standing up. What surprised him was the test result showing that the warfarin he had been taking was no longer working effectively. And the culprit was the green smoothie he had been making for himself every single day. Spinach contains a high amount of vitamin K, a nutrient that helps the blood to clot. This is completely normal for healthy individuals, but for people taking blood thinners like warfarin, vitamin K can reduce the effectiveness of the medication, making the blood more likely to clot and increasing the risk of dangerous blockages. What is scary is that this process happens very quietly, without clear warning signs. You might feel fine, your blood pressure might be stable, your heart may beat normally, but inside, your blood vessels could be under silent threat every day. The issue is not the vegetable itself, it is the inconsistent intake. One day you eat a plate of boiled spinach, another day you skip it completely, then the next day you drink a full glass of smoothie. This fluctuation makes it hard for the body to regulate the correct dose of medication. Fortunately for Mr. George, after adjusting his vegetable portions to a consistent daily amount and checking his blood regularly, his heart returned to stable function. If you are taking blood thinners, remember that green vegetables are not bad, but they must be eaten consistently, in a stable amount, and under your doctor's guidance, because even a small change in greens can be a big deal for your heart. Vegetable number 2, pickled cucumbers. There is a type of vegetable that most people think is harmless. Some even believe it adds a refreshing touch to meals. That vegetable is pickled cucumber, with its slightly crisp skin, salty sour flavor, and the familiar taste from childhood. Many older adults still eat a few slices of pickles every day without even thinking about it. But the truth is, just those few small slices might be silently tightening the grip on your heart. I remember Mrs. Irene, 78 years old, living alone in New Jersey. She was careful with every meal. She made vegetable soup, avoided sugar, stayed away from fried foods, and always carried her blood pressure medication. But for months, her blood pressure remained unusually high. Even though she followed her prescriptions exactly, when I reviewed her food journal, I found one detail that seemed small but was extremely important. She had been eating pickled cucumbers almost every day, between 2 and 4 slices. With her lunch, she said, "It is just a few small pieces. How could it matter?" But those slices contained over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, which is equal to 2/3 of the maximum daily salt intake recommended by the American Heart Association for seniors. The issue is not just about the number. When salt enters the body, it pulls water into the blood vessels, making the blood thicker, slowing down circulation, and forcing the heart to pump harder and faster to move blood through. The result is high blood pressure, a tired heart, and over time, it can lead to heart failure. The most dangerous part is that you do not feel it right away. No pain, no dizziness, but inside, your heart is carrying a growing burden every single day, especially since the kidneys in older adults are no longer as efficient at removing salt as they used to be. After we replaced her pickles with chilled fresh cucumbers or lightly salted homemade pickles, Mrs. Irene's blood pressure began to stabilize again after about 6 weeks. Familiar flavors can sometimes be the sweetest trap because they make us let our guard down. So if you are eating pickles every day, take a moment to check the sodium in your meals. Do not hesitate to change your habits because your heart will thank you for it. Vegetable number 3, raw garlic. For generations, garlic has been considered a precious natural remedy. It appears in meals, in traditional home remedies, and is often praised by word of mouth as a miracle ingredient that helps lower cholesterol, prevent colds, and support circulation. For older adults, especially those concerned about the side effects of medications, raw garlic has become more popular than ever. But this absolute trust, when not guided by proper understanding, can sometimes turn garlic into a hidden danger for the heart. I once treated Mrs. Margaret, 81 years old, living in Texas. She was a smart and thoughtful woman who always prioritized natural foods. She did not take aspirin, but every morning she drank a glass of water with 1 clove of raw garlic. Like taking a daily vitamin, she believed she was doing something good for her heart. But after just a few weeks, she began feeling tired, lightheaded, pale, and noticed mild bruising on her hands and feet. When she was admitted to the hospital, we discovered that she was experiencing mild stomach bleeding. It was completely painless, but the silent blood loss was forcing her heart to work twice as hard to maintain blood pressure. The cause was not medication. It was the quiet combination of raw garlic and blood-thinning drugs like warfarin that she was already taking. According to many studies, raw garlic is a powerful natural blood thinner. When combined with medication, it can make the blood so thin that even a minor bump causes bruising, or a small ulcer can bleed daily without you knowing. Garlic can even cause sudden drops in blood pressure, leading to dizziness, falls, or temporary brain fog from reduced circulation. Mrs. Margaret recovered after a few weeks of treatment, but she cried when she learned the cause. "I thought I was helping my heart," she said, and she is not alone. Many people over the age of 60 are using garlic like medicine without monitoring the dosage or checking for drug interactions. Remember, garlic is not the enemy, but it should not be used like medicine unless you are under medical guidance. If you are taking heart medications and have a habit of eating raw garlic every day, talk to your doctor before continuing, because a small misunderstanding could end up costing the rhythm of your heart. Vegetable number 4, raw sprouts. When we talk about healthy eating, many people immediately think of raw vegetables, green juices, and dishes made from plant sprouts like bean sprouts, soybean sprouts, or alfalfa sprouts. These foods carry the image of freshness, lightness, and cleanliness, but for older adults, these sprouts may hide an invisible danger, bacteria that can cause blood infections. I once treated Mrs. Ruth, 76 years old, a retired nurse living in Michigan. She lived a very healthy lifestyle, ate in moderation, and prepared her meals with very little salt and no canned foods. At a light gathering at her church, she enjoyed a sprout salad made by a friend. Just 2 days later, she suffered from severe diarrhea, high fever, and chest pain. When she was hospitalized, the diagnosis revealed a blood infection caused by Listeria bacteria, which is often found in raw sprouts that have not been heated. What made it worse was that the bacteria had not only affected her digestive system, but had spread to her heart valves, causing endocarditis, which disrupted her heart rhythm and caused her blood pressure to drop quickly. According to the CDC, older adults are among the highest risk groups for severe infections from raw sprouts, because their weakened immune systems can no longer control bacteria as they once did. Even if you wash the sprouts thoroughly, bacteria may still hide deep inside the seed and can only be destroyed by high temperatures. Mrs. Ruth was fortunate to receive strong antibiotics in time and was treated for several weeks, but she never regained her previous level of health. Once an independent woman, she now has to live with her daughter because her heart was significantly weakened after the infection. If you enjoy sprouts, try steaming them lightly or sautéing them briefly, or substitute with safer ingredients like avocado, cucumber, or soft-cooked greens. A little crunch is not worth risking the vitality of your heart, because sometimes the freshest looking foods are the ones that can cause the most harm to an aging body. Vegetable number 5, eggplant. Many older adults enjoy eggplant because it is soft, easy to eat, and works well in stews, grilled dishes, or vegetarian soups, even in the Mediterranean diet, which is often praised for supporting heart health. Eggplant appears regularly, but there is something most people do not know. Eggplant belongs to the nightshade family, along with potatoes, peppers, and tomatoes. It contains a compound called solanine, which can silently cause inflammation in the blood vessels, especially in older adults with a history of high blood pressure or heart disease. Mr. Walter, 75 years old, lived in rural Ohio and was a very meticulous man. After being advised to follow a heart-friendly diet, he began adding grilled eggplant, stewed eggplant, and baba ganoush to his meals every day. At first, everything seemed fine, but after just a few weeks, he started feeling chest tightness, fatigue when climbing stairs, and a return of high blood pressure. Even though his medication remained unchanged, tests showed that his body was reacting to solanine, causing mild inflammation inside the blood vessels. This made the vessels less flexible and forced the heart to work harder to pump blood throughout the body. What is concerning is that solanine-induced inflammation rarely causes clear symptoms, but over time, it can lead to atherosclerosis, heart attacks, or irregular heart rhythms. This is especially true in older adults, whose immune systems are weaker and whose liver and kidneys no longer eliminate toxins efficiently. In these cases, the effects of solanine can quickly spread throughout the circulatory system. After he stopped eating eggplant and switched to easier to digest vegetables like pumpkin, carrots, and well-cooked zucchini, Mr. Walter felt relief in just 3 weeks. The chest tightness went away and his blood pressure returned to normal. Eggplant is not bad, but if you have a history of heart conditions or mild vascular inflammation, consider reducing how often you eat it and pay attention to how your body reacts, because sometimes the food we believe is the healthiest may be quietly weakening the heart, day by day. Vegetable number 6, raw cabbage. To many people, raw cabbage is a symbol of healthy eating. It is low in calories, high in fiber, supports digestion, and is the main ingredient in coleslaw. a dish commonly found in the diets of older Americans. However, there is something not everyone knows. For people over 60, especially those with sensitive digestion or delicate hearts, raw cabbage can put significant pressure on the heart after what seems like a harmless meal. I once saw Mrs. Eileen, 73 years old, a retired teacher in California. She came to the clinic with symptoms of heart palpitations, rapid heartbeat after dinner, and an unusual tightness in her chest. She had no serious history of heart disease, but these symptoms appeared regularly in the evening. After reviewing her diet, I realized that she had been eating coleslaw every night, nearly 2 full bowls, believing it helped her digestion and would not cause weight gain. The problem lies in the type of fiber found in raw cabbage. It contains insoluble fiber, which is harder to break down, especially for aging digestive systems. This fiber produces excess gas in the stomach, which creates pressure on the diaphragm, the muscle located just beneath the heart. This pressure stimulates the vagus nerve, leading to irregular heart rhythms, making you feel as if your heart is racing, skipping beats, or fluttering unexpectedly. The concern is that these symptoms are often mistaken for a heart attack, causing many people to rush to the hospital in fear, when in fact, the culprit is a familiar dish causing bloating. Additionally, raw cabbage contains goitrogens, compounds that interfere with iodine absorption and can affect the thyroid. When the thyroid is weakened, it can disrupt heart rate, blood pressure, and body temperature. After Mrs. Eileen switched to lightly steamed or sautéed cabbage, her symptoms disappeared completely within 2 weeks. Not only did she enjoy her meals more, but she also slept more peacefully. If you frequently eat raw cabbage and notice irregular heartbeats, pressure in your chest after meals, or trouble sleeping at night, try changing how it is prepared, because what seems like a light and healthy dish might be quietly weighing down your heart day by day. After the age of 60, the body no longer responds the same way it did at 30 or 40. Foods that were once considered healthy can become a burden if used the wrong way. Through these 6 familiar vegetables, from spinach, pickled cucumbers, raw garlic, sprouts, eggplant, to raw cabbage, you can see that the problem is not the food itself. It is how these foods interact with your aging body that matters, from interfering with blood thinners, raising blood pressure, causing silent inflammation in blood vessels, to triggering irregular heart rhythms. These effects happen quietly, without clear warning signs. That is why understanding your body and adjusting how you eat vegetables is the first step in protecting your heart. You do not have to give up everything, but with just a few simple changes, like steaming vegetables instead of eating them raw, controlling garlic intake, reducing pickled foods, or choosing the right time to eat, you can significantly lower your risk of heart failure, stroke, or chronic fatigue. As I often tell my patients, the body after 60 must be listened to with patience and understanding. By changing just one vegetable in your dinner, you may sleep better, reduce nighttime cramps, and give your heart the rest it deserves. If you found today's content helpful, do not forget to subscribe to the channel so you will not miss the next videos on diets, exercises, and herbs that support senior health. Which vegetable from today's list do you eat most often? Please share in the comments, because your experience might be a valuable lesson for someone else. Wishing you strength, peace, and the ability to hear the quiet voice of your heart every single day.